First question, Mark Berman.
Hey, Stephen, how are you?
Good, Mark. How are you, man?
Let me read you something here that PJ told the media this afternoon. He was asked about what he thought about how you handled game one. This is some of what he said. He said, I thought he was good. He had a good spirit, a swagger you look for in a head coach. Got his point across. He's a player's coach. He's one of the coolest coaches I've ever seen in my life. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's obviously good to hear good stuff from your players about the way that you do things. I don't really know what to say about being cool, if that's a good thing or what, but I try to be even keeled. You know, I try to be in whether you're coming to my practice and we're on a 2-game winning streak or a 2-game losing streak. I try to be the same. I learned early in my career from Stacey Augman. After a bad loss, I came in and I was young. I was like 28. And I was all down. And he was like, you can't be that way. You coming into the building have to be the same every day. We take our cue from you. So I'm definitely appreciative of PJ's words, and hopefully those will carry on throughout the season.
Are your starters the same tonight as game one?
They are.
Thank you. Brian Bearfield.
Coach, did you notice anything different in your players today as far as the adjusting to the altitude is concerned, and having such limited players? Will that take effect, or will that cause you to watch your lineup tonight?
Coach, I think you're muted.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, we have to take everything into account. We have to take into account that multiple guys played 40-plus minutes last game. We have to take into account the fact that this is game 2 with the shortened preseason. We have to take into account the fact that we haven't had very many practices. The altitude is also something that we'll be paying attention to. So early timeouts, early substitutions. I told the guys this morning in our shoot around to just make sure that we communicate back and forth as far as how they're feeling. But we have a lot to take into account coming into this game with only 9 guys.
Michael Shapiro.
Hey, Coach. It was a strong offensive night, obviously, for James and Christian on Saturday. Were you surprised at all at how quickly they seemed to find a pretty impressive chemistry on the court?
A little bit, since they haven't really had a chance to play together very much. I think they played the one preseason game, and that was it. We've had a couple practices, but not a lot. So, yeah, for that chemistry to kind of show itself so early, it's a good sign for us, and hopefully that'll be something that develops as the season progresses.
Mark Medina.
Stephen, good to see you. To follow up on the point you made about staying even keel, what has been the key in keeping that approach, even with all the unique things that are facing you as a first-year head coach?
Yeah, there has been a lot, but I really try to focus on what I can control, and that's the guys who are in the locker room. That's the practice plans. That's the preparation. That's continuing to preach the adaptability of this season and how important it's going to be. With everything that we have going on, whether it's COVID or limited practice or guys in and out and injuries and that sort of thing, the adaptability and the resilience part is something that I've been preaching, and that's something that I can control. The other stuff going on around, I really can't control. So I wouldn't say that I don't worry about it or think about it, but it's, something that's like a kind of an aside as far as what's going on.
Kelly Eco.
Hey, Coach, obviously without John Wall and Eric Gordon, you talked about having a committee for, I guess, handling the ball and stuff like that. But do you want to see more from guys like Danuel House if James is on the bench?
I wouldn't say more. He played 40-plus minutes, and he played well, and he got out in transition, and that's what we want him to do. There will be times where he's handling the ball some, and We'll make adjustments as we go along, but Danuel House is fine. I like the way that he plays on both ends of the floor, and that'll be a role that he can have right now with these 9 guys, or as everybody else comes back, he can just continue that role of getting us going on both ends of the floor. But as far as the ball handling stuff, like you said, and I said last time, it is kind of a ball handling by committee deal with James out.
Jonathan Fagan.
Talking about preparation before, obviously the circumstances have prevented you from having a full practice in about a week. How much does that impact preparation? Is there a list of things that you would like to be addressing right now that you just don't have a chance to?
Yeah, I mean, there's a long list actually of things that I'd like to kind of get to, and we haven't yet. Yesterday we weren't able to practice because guys are dead. I want the guys to have their best for the games, and sometimes you have to be smart as far as how much you have them on the floor, how much you're practicing. Today we did a shoot around on the floor just so they could get out, and we had a very detailed walkthrough as far as the defensive concepts that we're trying to establish. And to your question, all of those defensive concepts were things that we kind of hit on during training camp, but we didn't have our full group, and we didn't have time, and we're trying to get guys in shape and that sort of thing. So today's shoot around was almost like a practice where we're introducing concepts and we're really kind of dialing into the details, which makes it a little bit tougher. But once we get everybody back later this week, I'll feel better about our ability to kind of get everything in. And it's not my nature. Well, it is my nature to be patient, but as a head coach, it's not any head coach's nature to be completely patient, especially when you're trying to get your stuff in.
So if you line them up 5-on-5 right now, who on your coaching staff is the 10th guy?
Sagana Jop or hey, Jeff Hornacek. I don't know. Sagana's younger, but Jeff has the experience and the finals games and all-star appearances, and he won a 3-point shooting contest, so he might need some of those tonight.
Thank you.
Adam Spolin.
Just on that, are you thinking Wednesday that you'll have everyone available at practice?
Wednesday, yeah. What's today? Today's Monday.
Yes.
Tuesday? Yeah, Wednesday. I'm sorry. Wednesday will be the day. Hopefully we'll have everybody in practice, and then we play Thursday and basically every other day after that. So Wednesday is going to be an important practice, getting those guys back in and getting the whole group kind of on the same page as far as what we're trying to get done on both ends of the floor.
And last question, Brandon Scott. Brandon?
I'm sorry, can you guys hear me okay? Sorry about that. Coach, just real quick, the guys that are in quarantine, the players that are in quarantine, you talked about the difficulty of kind of establishing stuff, getting stuff in. How much are you able to communicate with those guys, and intellectually, how much are they able to, if at all, try to understand some of these concepts that you're trying to get in?
Yeah, I mean, I've been communicating with the guys mostly on how are they doing, making sure that they're taken care of and feeling good and that sort of thing, less about basketball and more about life type stuff. They're veteran guys who will pick things up quickly and, have a desire to really contribute and be a big part of what we have going on. So like the technical stuff and the schematic stuff is something that I'll hold off until they get here, because especially with Eric, John, and DeMarcus, those guys are veteran guys who'll be able to pick things up quickly.
Thank you, Coach.
All right.